Let's start with the food grain portion of the chapter. The chapter is in agriculture, and this is chapter number 4, chapter number 5 of Indian geography. Food grains. The important food grains in India agricultural economy may be gauged from the fact these crops occupy about two-thirds of the total cropped area in the country. Food grains are dominant crops in all parts of the country, whether they have subsistence or commercial agricultural economy. On the basis of structure of grain, the food grains are classified as cereals and pulses. Cereals. The cereals occupy about 54% of total cropped area in India. The country produces about 11% cereals of the world and ranks third in production after China and USA. India produces a variety of cereals which are classified as fine grains like rice and wheat and coarse grains like jowar, bajra, maize and ragi, etc. A count of important cereals has been given in the following paragraphs. The first one is, of course, rice. Rice is a staple food for an overwhelming majority population in India. Though it is considered to be a crop of tropical humid areas, it has about 3000 varieties which are grown in different agroclimatic regions. These are successfully grown from sea level to about 2000 meters altitude from humid areas in eastern India to dry but irrigated areas of Punjab, Haryana, western Uttar Pradesh and northern Rajasthan. In southern states and West Bengal, the climatic conditions allow the cultivation of two or three crops of rice in an agricultural year. In West Bengal, farmers grow three crops of rice called Os, Aman, and Boro. But the Himalayas and northwestern parts of the country, it is grown as a kharif crop during southwest monsoon season. India contributes 22.07% of rice production in the world and ranked second after China in 2018. About one fourth of the total cropped area in the country is under rice cultivation. West Bengal, Uttar Pradesh, and Punjab are the leading rice producing states in the country. The yield level of rice is high in Punjab, Tamil Nadu, Haryana, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, West Bengal, and Kerala. In the first four of these states, almost the entire land under rice cultivation is irrigated. Punjab and Haryana are not traditional rice growing areas. Rice cultivation in the irrigated areas of Punjab and Haryana was introduced in 1970s following the Green Revolution. Generally, genetically improved varieties of seed, relatively high usage of fertilizers and pesticides and lower levels of susceptibility to crop to pest due to dry climatic conditions are responsible for higher yield of rice in this region. The yield of this crop is very low in rain-fed areas of Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Odisha. Wheat. Wheat is the second most important cereal crop in India after rice. India produces about 12.8% of total wheat production of world 2017. It is primarily a crop of temperate zone. Hence, its cultivation in India is done during the winter, that is the Rabi season. About 85% of the total area under this crop is concentrated in the north and central regions of the country, that, that is the Indo-Gangetic Plains, Malwa Plateau, and Himalayas up to 2700 meters altitude. Being a rabi crop, it is mostly grown under irrigated conditions, but it is rain-fed crop in Himalayan highlands and parts of Malwa Plateau in Madhya Pradesh. About 14% of the total cropped area in the country is under wheat cultivation. Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana, and Rajasthan are leading wheat producing states. The yield level of wheat is very high, above 4000 kg per hectare in Punjab and Haryana, whereas in Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, and Bihar have moderate yields. The states like Madhya Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh, and Jammu and Kashmir growing wheat under rain-fed conditions have low yield. Jowar. The coarse cereals together occupy about 16.5% of total cropped area in the country. Among these, jowar or sorghum alone accounts for about 5.3% of the total cropped area. It is the main food crop in semi arid areas of central and southern India. Maharashtra alone produces more than half of the total jowar production in the country. Other leading producer states of jowar are Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, and Telangana. It is sown in both Kharif and Rabi seasons in southern states. But it is a Kharif crop in the northern India where it is mostly grown as a fodder crop. South of the Vindhyachal, it is a rain fed crop and its yield level is very low in this region. Bajra. Bajra is sown in hot and dry climatic conditions in northwestern and western parts of the country. It is a hardy crop which resists frequent dry spells and drought. It is cultivated alone as well as a part of mixed cropping. This coarse cereal occupies about 5.2% of total cropped area in the country. Leading producers of bajra are states of Maharashtra, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, and Haryana. Being a rain-fed crop, the yield levels of this crop is low in Rajasthan and fluctuates a lot from year to year. Yield of this crop has increased during the recent years in Haryana and Gujarat due to introduction of drought-resistant varieties and expansion of irrigation under it. Maize is a food as well as a fodder crop grown under semi-arid climatic conditions and over inferior soils. This crop occupies only about 3.6% of total cropped area. Maize cultivation is not concentrated in any specific region. It is sown all over India except Punjab and eastern and northern regions. Eastern and northeastern regions. The leading producers of maize are states of Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Rajasthan, and Uttar Pradesh. Yield level of maize is higher than other coarse cereals. It is high in southern states and decline towards the central parts. Pulses. Pulses are very important ingredient of vegetarian food as these are rich sources of proteins. These are legume crops which increase the natural fertility of soils through nitrogen fixation. India is a leading producer of pulses in the world. The cultivation of pulses in the country is largely concentrated in the drylands of Deccan and central plateaus and northwestern parts of the country. Pulses occupy about 11% of total cropped area in the country. Being the rain-fed crops of drylands, the yields of pulses are low and fluctuate from year to year. Gram and tur are the main pulses cultivated in India. Gram. Gram is cultivated in subtropical areas. It is mostly rain-fed crop cultivated during the Rabi season in central, western and northwestern parts of the country. Just one or two light showers of irrigation are required to grow this crop successfully. It has been displaced from the cropping pattern by wheat in Haryana, Punjab, and northern Rajasthan following the Green Revolution. At present, the gram covers only about 2.8% of the total cropped area in country. Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, and Rajasthan are main producers of this pulse crop. The yield of this crop continues to be low and fluctuates from year to year even in irrigated areas. Tur, Arar. Tur is the Tur is the second important pulse crop in the country. It is known as red gram or pigeon pea. It is cultivated over a marginal lands and under rain-fed conditions in the dry areas of central and southern states of the country. This crop occupies only about 2% of the total cropped area in India. Maharashtra alone contributes about one third of the total production of tur. Other leading producer states are Uttar Pradesh, Karnataka, Gujarat, and Madhya Pradesh. Per hectare output of this crop is very low and its performance is inconsistent. Oilseeds. The oilseeds are produced for extracting edible oils. Drylands of Malwa Plateau, Marathwada, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Telangana, Rayalaseema, region of Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka, Plateau are oilseeds growing regions of India. These crops together occupy about 14% of total cropped area in the country. Groundnut, rapeseed, mustard, soya bean, and sunflower are the main oilseed crops grown in India. Groundnut. India produces about 18.8% of total groundnut production of the world. 2018. It is largely a rain-fed kharif crop of drylands, but in southern India it is cultivated during the rabi season as well. It covers about 3.6% of total cropped area in the country. Gujarat, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Maharashtra are the leading producers. Yield of groundnut is comparatively high in Tamil Nadu where it is partly irrigated, but its yields is low in Telangana, Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka. Rapeseed and mustard. It's rapeseed and mustard. Rapeseed and mustard comprise several oilseeds as rye, sarson, toria, and taramira. These are subtropical crops cultivated during the rabi season in the northwestern and central parts of India. These are frost sensitive crops. Their yields fluctuate from year to year. But with the expansion of irrigation and improvement in the seed technology, their yields have improved and stabilized to some extent. About two-thirds of the cultivated area under these crops is irrigated. These oilseeds together occupy only about 2.5% of total cropped area in the country. Rajasthan contributes about one third production, while the other leading producers are Haryana and Madhya Pradesh. Yields of these crops are comparatively high in Haryana and Rajasthan. Other oilseeds, soybean and sunflower, are other important oilseeds grown in India. Soybean is mostly grown in Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra. These two states together produce about 90% of total output of soybean in the country. Sunflower cultivation is concentrated in Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, and adjoining areas of Maharashtra. It is a minor crop in northern parts of the country where its yield is high due to irrigation. Fiber crops. These crops provide us fiber for preparing cloth, bags, sacks, and a number of other items. Cotton and jute are two main fiber crops grown in India. Cotton. Cotton is a tropical crop grown in Kharif season in semi-arid areas of the country. India lost a large proportion of cotton growing area to Pakistan during partition. However, its acreage has increased considerably during the last 50 years. India grows both short staple Indian cotton as well as long staple American cotton, called Narma, in northwestern parts of the country. Cotton requires clear sky during flowering stage. India ranks second in the world in the production of cotton after China. Cotton occupies about 4.7% of total cropped area in the country. There are three cotton growing areas, that is parts of Punjab, Haryana, and northern Rajasthan in northwest, Gujarat and Maharashtra in the west, and plateaus of Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu in the south. Leading producers of this crop are Gujarat, Maharashtra, Telangana. Per hectare output of cotton is high under irrigated conditions in northwestern region of country. Its yield is very low in Maharashtra where grown under rain-fed conditions. Jute. Jute is useful for making coarse cloth, bags, sacks, and decorative items. It is a cash crop in the West Bengal and adjoining eastern parts of country. India lost large jute growing areas to East Pakistan, that is Bangladesh, during partition. At present, India produces about three fifth of the jute production of the world. West Bengal accounts for about three-fourths of the production in the country. Bihar and Assam are other jute growing areas, being concentrated only in a few states. This crop accounts for only about 0.5% of total cropped area in the country. Other crops, sugarcane, tea, and coffee are other important crops grown in India. Sugarcane. Sugarcane is a crop of tropical areas under rain-fed conditions. It is cultivated in subhumid and humid climates, but it is largely an irrigated crop in India. In Indo-Gangetic plains, its cultivation is largely concentrated in Uttar Pradesh. Sugarcane growing area in the western India is spread over Maharashtra and Gujarat. In southern India, it is cultivated in irrigated tracts of Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, and Andhra Pradesh. India was the second largest producer of sugarcane after Brazil in 2018. It accounts for about 19.7% of the world population of sugarcane, but it occupies only 2.5% of total cropped area in the country. Uttar Pradesh produces two-fifths of sugarcane of the country. Maharashtra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh are other leading producers of this crop, where yield level of sugarcane is high. Its yield is low in northern India. Tea. Tea is a plantation crop used as beverage. Black tea leaves are fermented, whereas green tea leaves are unfermented. Tea leaves have rich content of caffeine and tannin. It is an indigenous crop of hills in northern China. It is grown over undulating topography of hilly areas as well as well drained soils in humid and subhumid tropics and subtropics. In India, tea plantation started in 1840s in Brahmaputra Valley in Assam, which still is a major tea growing area in the country. Later on, its plantation was introduced in the sub-Himalayan region of West Bengal, that is Darjeeling, Jaipalguri, Jalpaiguri, and Cooch Behar districts. Tea is also cultivated on the lower slopes of Nilgiri and Cardamom Hills in Western Ghats. India is the leading producer of tea and accounts for about 21.2% of total production in the world in 2018. India's share in international market of tea has declined substantially. It ranks second among the tea exporting countries in the world after China. Assam accounts for about 53.2% of the total cropped area and contributes more than half the total production of the tea in the country. West Bengal and Tamil Nadu are other leading producers of tea. Coffee. Coffee is a tropical plantation crop. Its seeds are roasted, ground, and used for preparing a beverage. There are three varieties of coffee, that is Arabica, Robusta, and Liberica. India mostly grows superior quality coffee, Arabica, which is great demand in the international market. But India produces only about 3.1% of coffee of the world and ranks 8th after Brazil, Vietnam, Indonesia, Colombia, Honduras, Ethiopia, Peru in 2018. Coffee is cultivated in the highlands of Western Ghats in Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu. Karnataka alone accounts for more than two-thirds of the total production of coffee in the country. Agricultural development in India. Indian agricultural economy was largely subsistence in nature before independence. It has dismal performance in the first half of 20th century. This period witnessed severe droughts and famines. During the partition, about one-third of the irrigated land in undivided India went to Pakistan. This reduced the proportion of irrigated area in the independent India. After independence, the immediate goal of the government was to increase food grains production by 1. Switching over from cash crops to food crops. 2nd, intensification of cropping over already cultivated land. And 3rd, increasing cultivated area by bringing cultivable and fallow lands under plough. Initially, this strategy helped in increasing food grains production, but agricultural production stagnated during the late 1950s. To overcome the problem, Intensive Agricultural District Program IADP and Intensive Agricultural Area Program IAAP were launched. But two consecutive droughts during the mid 1990s resulted in food crisis in the country. Consequently, food grains were imported from other countries. New seed varieties of wheat, Mexico, and rice from Philippines known as high yielding varieties were available for cultivation by mid 1960s. India took advantage of this and had introduced package technology comprising of HYVs along with chemical fertilizers and irrigated areas of Punjab, Haryana, Western Uttar Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh and Gujarat. A short supply of soil moisture through irrigation was the basic prerequisite for the success of this new agricultural technology. This strategy of agricultural development paid dividends instantly and increased the food grains production at a very fast rate. This spurt of agricultural growth came to be known as the Green Revolution. Also, this also gave fillip to the development of a large number of agro inputs, agro processing industries, and small scale industries. This strategy of agricultural development made the country self reliant in food grain production. But green revolution was initially confined to irrigated areas only. This led to the regional disparities in agricultural development in the country till 1970s, after which the technology spread to the eastern and central parts of the country as well. The Planning Commission of India focused its attention on the problems of agriculture in rain-fed areas in the 1980s. It initiated agroclimatic planning in 1988 to induce regionally balanced agricultural development in the country. It also emphasized on the need for diversification of agriculture and harnessing of resources for the development of dairy farming, poultry, horticulture, livestock rearing, and aquaculture. Initiation of the policy of liberalization and free market economy in 1990s influenced the course of development of Indian agriculture. National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture NAMSA. National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture is to make agriculture more productive, sustainable, remunerative, and climate resilient by promoting location specific integrated slash composite farming systems and to conserve natural resources through appropriate soil and moisture conservation measures. The government has been promoting organic farming in the country through the schemes such as Parampragat Krishi Vikas Yojana PKVY and Rashtriya Vikas Yojana RKVY. Growth of agricultural output and technology. There has been a significant increase in the agricultural output and improvement in the technology during the last 50 years. Production of yield of many crops such as rice, wheat has increased at an impressive rate. Among the other crops, the production of sugarcane, oilseeds, and cotton has also increased appreciably. Expansion of irrigation has played a crucial role in enhancing agricultural output in the country. It provided basis for introduction of modern agricultural technology such as high yielding varieties of seeds, chemical fertilizers, pesticides, and farm machinery. The net irrigated area in the country has also increased. Modern agriculture technology has diffused very fast in the various areas of the country. Consumption of chemical fertilizers has increased by 15 times since the mid 60s. Since the high yielding varieties are highly susceptible to pests and diseases, the use of pesticides has increased significantly since 1960s. Farmers Portal of India. Farmers Portal is a platform for farmers to seek any information related to agriculture. Detailed information on farmers' insurance, agriculture storage, crops, extension activities, seeds, pesticides, farm machineries, etc. is provided. Details of fertilizers, market prices, package and practices, programs, welfare schemes are also given. Block level details related to soil fertility, storage, insurance, training, etc., are available in an interactive map. Users can also download farm friendly handbook and scheme guidelines. Problems of Indian agriculture. The nature of problems faced by Indian agriculture varies according to agro-ecological and historical experiences of its different regions. Hence, most of the agricultural problems in the country are region specific. Yet, there are some problems which are common and range from physical constraints to institutional hindrances. A detailed discussion on these problems follows. Dependence on erratic monsoon. Irrigation covers about 33% of cultivated area in India. The crop production in the rest of the cultivated land directly depends on rain. Poor performance of southwest monsoon can adversely affect the supply of canal water for irrigation. On the other hand, the rainfall in Rajasthan and other drought prone areas is too meager to highly unreliable. Even the areas receiving high annual rainfall experience considerable fluctuations. This makes them vulnerable to both droughts and floods. Drought is a common phenomena in low rainfall areas, which may also experience occasional floods. The flash floods in dry lands of Maharashtra, Gujarat, and Rajasthan in 2006 2017 are examples of this phenomena. Droughts and floods continue to be twin menace in Indian agriculture. Low productivity. The yield of crops in the country is low in comparison to the international level. Per hectare output of most of the crops, such as rice, wheat, cotton, and oilseeds in India, is much lower than that of USA, Russia, and Japan. Because of the very high pressure on the land resources, the labor productivity in Indian agricultural is also very low in comparison to international level. The vast rain-fed areas of the country, particularly dry lands which mostly grow coarse cereals, pulses, and oilseeds, have low yields. Constraints of financial resources and indebtedness. The inputs of modern agriculture are very expensive. The resource intensive approach has become unmanageable for marginal and small farmers as they have very meager or no saving to invest in the agriculture. To tide over these difficulties, most of such farmers have resorted to availing credit from various institutions and moneylenders. Crop failures and low returns from agriculture have forced them to fall in the trap of indebtedness. Lack of land reforms. Indian peasantry has been exploited for a long time as there has been unequal distribution of land. Among the three revenue systems operational during the British period, that is Mahalwari, Rotwari, and Zamindari, the last one was most exploitative for the peasants. After independence, the land reforms were accorded priority, but these reforms were not implemented effectively due to lack of strong political will. Most of the state governments avoided taking politically tough decisions which went against strong political lobbies of landlords. Lack of implementation of land reforms has resulted in continuation of inequitous distribution of cultivable land which is detrimental to agricultural development. Small farm size and fragmentation of land holdings. There are a large number of marginal and small farmers in the country. The average size of land holding is shrinking under increasing population pressure. Furthermore, India, the land holdings are mostly fragmented. There are some states in which consolidation of the holding has not been carried out even once. Even the states where it has been carried out once, second consolidation is required as land holdings have fragmented again in the process of division of land among the owners of next generation. The small size of fragmented land holdings are uneconomic. Lack of commercialization. A large number of farmers produce crops for self consumption. These farmers do not have enough land resources to produce more than their requirement. Most of the small and marginal farmers grow food grains which meant for their own family consumption. Modernization and commercialization of agriculture have, however, taken place in the irrigated areas. Vast underemployment. There is a massive underemployment in the agricultural sector in India, particularly in the unirrigated tracts. In these areas, there is a seasonal unemployment ranging from 4 to 8 months. Even in the cropping season, the work is not available throughout as agricultural operations are not labor intensive. Hence, the people engaged in agriculture do not have opportunity to work round the year. Degradation of cultivable land. One of the serious and faulty strategy of irrigation and agricultural development is degradation of land resources. This is serious because it may lead to depletion of soil fertility. The situation is particularly alarming in irrigated areas. A large tract of agricultural land has lost its fertility due to alkalization. 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 Alkalization basically means that the um, basic nature of the soil has increased. There's acid, then there's base. Base is also known as alkali, that is why alkalization and salination of soils and waterlogging. Excessive use of chemicals such as insecticides and pesticides has led to their concentration in toxic amounts in the soil profile. Leguminous crops have been displaced from cropping pattern in the irrigated areas, and duration of a fallow has substantially reduced owing to multiple cropping. This has obliterated the process of natural fertilization such as nitrogen fixation. Rain-fed areas in humid and semi-arid tropics also experience degradation of several types like soil erosion by water and wind erosion, which are often induced by human activities. So this was it. Thank you everyone for tuning in. This was chapter number 5 of Indian Geography. We hoped you liked it, and if you liked it, do share and subscribe the channel and keep supporting us. Thank you everyone.